Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is David and you're watching Yellowhammer Woodcrafts. Today we're going to finally review the Delta 36725 T2 table saw. I've had this table saw for about a year now, so I feel like I can give a decent review on it. I use it just about every day. Let me start by telling you the one main thing that I don't like about the saw, and this could be me. Tell me down in the comments if you've experienced this or if you know what I might be doing to cause it. I have changed my blade out from when I first bought it to a Freud blade, which is one of the better blades. They are kind of expensive though. But the one thing I've noticed, if I try to feed hardwoods through the blade too fast to keep from getting burn marks, especially with maple, the saw turns off and it loses power. But there is a reset button. You can reset it and it comes right back on, no problems. I've only done this maybe 5 times in a year, but it's always been from trying to feed hardwoods like walnut or purple heart through the saw too fast. So if you've experienced that, let me know down in the comments. Honestly, there's only one other thing that I thought that Delta could have done better on this saw. There used to be a gauge here that told you what degree that you're putting your blade at when you want to cut a 45 or whatever. Well, that fell off almost probably a month after having the saw. I don't even know if it was that long, but it's not stuck on there good, which you don't really need it because I use one of these. You put this on your blade, and when you turn your blade, it tells you what the angle is. This is a AccuMaster. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. If you do push wood through too fast through the blade and you notice that it loses power and the saw won't turn on anymore, let me show you how to fix it, because I noticed from some comments on Facebook that some people didn't know about this. But if you lose power and you can't get it to turn back on, this little red button right here is a reset button. And sometimes you have to push it more than once and push it kind of hard to make it reset. But when you push that button, it should reset, and sometimes it'll throw your breaker. I've never thrown a breaker. It's best to put these on a 20 amp breaker by itself, and I've had no problems with mine on a 20 amp. But if it does lose power like that from pushing wood too hard through the saw, just push that reset button and you're good. So as far as things that I don't like about the saw, that's the only 2 things really. And you know, this is to me, this is considered a hobbyist table saw. So if you're cutting hardwoods with it every day, may not be the saw for you. But if you're cutting a lot of softwood, or you're only cutting on the weekends, this is a great saw. Everybody that watches me knows that I work in this shop almost every day. I've been using this saw for a year, and it's been great for me. I don't cut a lot of hardwoods with it. I'm mostly making stuff out of plywood and pine. So, you know, it hasn't been an issue for me. One thing that I love about this saw is the fence. For the money, for what this saw cost, this fence is great. I mean, you can see right now that I have it pushed all the way out of line, but when you push this handle down, it automatically goes back straight. It's easy to adjust and take off if you want to. It also has measuring gauges on each side. The right side goes to 30 inches. The left side goes to 15 inches. The blade height comes up to about 3 inches. Oh, I forgot to mention one other thing that I think Delta could have done better with this saw. Let me let this down real quick and I'll show you. But this plate is not the best because it doesn't have a screw right here to hold this level. Let me put the camera on it so you can see. This plate, sometimes when you're pushing wood through, it pushes down right there and the wood gets caught on this edge. So that's one thing that they could have done better, is put a screw there. But you can buy plates that are made out of MDF, which is what I've done. I use this one all the time because it's for dados. And then this one is zero clearance. I haven't really used it a lot because that I just showed you, it doesn't affect me that much because I'm mostly cutting plywood. But you know, if you're cutting a lot of hardwood and stuff, you might want to think about getting a zero clearance plate like that made out of MDF. I got mine from let's see, yeah, Calissa Woodworks. That's where it came from. Something else that I've heard a few people mention is the on and off switch is pretty neat because you can bump it with your leg. You know, if you have an emergency or something, you can cut it off real quick with your knee. And if you put this in a school or somewhere where it needed to be locked, you push that in and lock it down so it can't be turned on if you don't want it to. This would be a little better if you could move it back just a tad, because I have noticed sometimes when I'm trying to push plywood through, I sometimes hit that with my leg and turn the saw off by accident. So if you could push that back a little bit, which you could probably rig up something to make that work, push it back a little bit so your leg doesn't hit it, that would probably be a little better. It does come with this, and it has a pretty cool little storage area for that. You just slide it into that hole. I don't use this that much, but when I do need it, it's there, and it works. It works okay. When I'm cutting angles, I usually use my DeWalt chop saw. These holders down here are for your fence. So if you wanted to take your fence off and store it for some reason, you can put it on these two racks there. I use these just to store my plates, but you know, they're really for the fence. It does have two wheels on it and a pedal to make it easy to roll. And I do have to use this a lot sometimes because I can't fit a 4-foot sheet of plywood through all that, and sometimes I have to move my saw over like this a little bit. So it does roll pretty easy as long as you have level floors and you don't have cuts in your concrete. Then you really shouldn't have a problem. This is your handle to turn the blade to whatever angle you want to cut. Just loosen it here, and then you can see that moves, which is where that gauge was that I was talking about that fell off. And you know, it would tell you what angle you're on at this point here. But since the gauge is not there, I use this, and you put it on the blade like that, and once you get to the angle, you can stop. It also comes with this extra knob. This is for storing blades, so you can take this off, put your blades on there, and then tighten them down. I don't well, you can tell I don't ever use that because that's never happened before. It just wasn't popped on there good. But anyway, that's where you store your blades. It does come with a push stick. Not a very good one, but it works. That's where you store that. And I store my wrench to take the blade off there too, because I use dado blades a lot. Bought this from Chris at A Glimpse Inside. He's got an awesome channel. If you've never watched it, go check it out. This is for skinny cuts. And this is where you store your blade guard, which I don't ever use a blade guard, but if you did and wanted to take it off for some reason, that's where you put that. And all you safety Nazis out there, don't come at me for not using a blade guard. I don't care. So I decided to put these on in the making of this video because I was filming the dust port and talking about these and didn't have them on yet. So now you can see them. These are latches that can be folded. And I made this because I have a small shop and I'm always needing an outfeed table. So this helps with large sheets of plywood. But what I wanted to show you about the saw is the dust port is a 2.5-inch dust port. You can put an adapter on it to make it 4-inch. but I just use the 2.5 and it works okay. Sometimes the dust comes out the top, but it's not that bad. When I'm cutting plywood, I just wear a mask because a lot of dust comes out the top when you're cutting plywood. The dust collection, I mean, it may be a 7 out of 10, if that. It's not too bad, but. Let me show you how easy this is to change the blade out. The first thing you want to do is unplug it, of course. There's a little red button here that you push in, and while you're holding the button, you turn the blade until the button goes in, and then your blade is locked. And then you take your wrench, and then you can undo the bolt and loosen the blade. It's that easy. The same when you're putting it back on. I'm not going to take it off, but just wanted to show you how easy it is to take off. And hopefully you can see that button. But as you turn the blade, it'll go to a certain point, and then that button will go in, and then your blade can't turn anymore, and that allows you to loosen that bolt. So just a few quick tips about this saw. It's on a 15 amp motor, and it's best to put it on a dedicated 20 amp breaker. I run mine on a 20 amp, and my dust collector runs on the same outlet. As you can see, I have one of these that actually fell off the wall. Don't judge me. This is an automatic vacuum switch. I have some videos on this if you've never seen one. But if you get one of these from Amazon, I'll leave a link to it in the description. Anything you have plugged into it, it'll automatically turn on your dust collector when your saw comes on, or whatever other tool you're running. I would suggest that you run this on a dedicated 20 amp and not a 15. I have heard that the 15 amps will throw the breaker sometimes. The last and second best tip that I can give about this saw: take this crappy blade off the saw and get you a Freud or something nicer than that before you ever cut your first piece of wood. Hey, if you like review videos like this, let me know down in the comments. That's going to be it for this one. Check out these other 2 review videos right here. We'll see you next time.